Mitochondria. Mitochondria single mitochondrion. Unless specific stains are not easily visible under the microscope, the number of mitochondria per cell is variable depending on the physiological activity of the cell. In terms of shape and size also, considerable degree of variability is observed. Typical, it is a swagger-shaped umbrella, swagger shape or umbrella, having diameter 0.2 to 1 micrometer, average 0.5 micrometer, and length is 1.1 to 4.1 micrometer. Each mitochondria is a double membrane bounded structure with outer membrane and inner membrane dividing into the lamina, distinguished into the two aqueous compartments, outer compartment and inner compartment. The inner compartment is filled with a dense homogeneous substance called the matrix. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का इनर कंपार्टमेंट जो होता है फिल्ड होता है विथ डेंस होमोजेनियस सब्सटेंस कॉल्ड मैट्रिक्स. द आउटर मेम्ब्रेन फॉर्म द कंटिन्यूस लिमिटिंग बाउंड्री ऑफ द ऑर्गेनेल. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया आउटर मेम्ब्रेन जो होता है ना कंटिन्यूस लिमिटिंग बाउंड्री फॉर्म करता है, कंटिन्यूस लिमिटिंग बाउंड्री ऑफ द ऑर्गेनेल. द इनर मेम्ब्रेन फॉर्म ए नंबर ऑफ इनफोल्डिंग कॉल्ड क्रिस्टिया. Mitochondria with the inner membrane form a number of infolding called cristia. Example cristia. Toward the matrix. Toward the matrix. The cristia increase the surface area. Cristia क्या करता है? Increase करता है surface area. The two membrane having their own specific enzyme associated with the mitochondria function. देखा था ना? Two membrane mitochondria में two membrane होता है having their own specific enzyme associated with their mitochondria function. Mitochondria are the site of aerobic respiration. क्या होता है site of aerobic respiration? They produce cellular energy in the form of ATP. Mitochondria produce cellular energy in the form of ATP. Hence they are called powerhouse of the cell. Hence it's called powerhouse of the cell. The matrix also possesses a single circular DNA. Mitochondria matrix जो है possess करता है single circular DNA. Single circular DNA. Yes. And a few RNA molecules. Ribosome 17S compartment required for the synthesis of protein. The mitochondria is divided by fission. कैसा fission? FISS. ION. Yes. Structure of mitochondria longitudinally section. ये क्या outer membrane, inner membrane है और ये क्या मैट्रिक्स है. inner membrane के इंटर मेम्ब्रेन स्पेस है. ये जो है हरा अक्षर ये सब इंटर मेम्ब्रेन स्पेस है. ये क्या जो ऐसे मुड़ा है इसको कहते हैं क्रिस्टिया. Plastids are found in all plant cell and inclusionids. Plastids जो है सब सेल एंड इंक्लूनाइड्स में फाउंड होता है. They are easily observed under the microscope as they are large. They bear some specific pigment, thus imparting a specific color to the plant. प्लास्टिड जो बियर करता है some specific pigment, thus imparting a specific color to the plant. Based on the type of pigment, plastid can be classified into the based on the type of pigment. Plastid can be classified into chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. The chloroplast contain chlorophyll and carotenoid pigment, which are responsible for trapping light energy essential for photosynthesis. In the chromoplast, fat soluble carotenoids pigment like carotenoin, xanthophyll and other are present. याद रखना. इन क्रोमोप्लास्ट में जो फैट सोल्यूबल कार्टिनॉइड्स pigment like carotenoid and xanthophyll and other are present. They give the part of plant a yellow, orange and red color. The leucoplasts are the colorless plastid of various shape and size. Leucoplasts are the colorless plastid of various shape and size and store nutrition. Amploplast store carbohydrate, starch. Example potato. Eucloplast store oil and fat. Oil and fats. Where allular are the store protein. Majority of the chloroplast of the green plant are found in mesophyll cell of the leaf. हाँ, majority of the chloroplast जो है ना of green plant का are found in the mesophyll cell of the leaf. हाँ, they are length shaped, oval, spherical, discoid and ribbon like organelle, have variable length 5 to 10 micrometer and width 2 to 4 micrometer. The number of क्लोरोप्लास्ट का जो है मेसोफिल सेल में नंबर वैरी करता है फ्रॉम 1 पर सेल इन क्लोडोमिनस एज ए ग्रीन एल्गी में 20 से 40 होता है पर सेल इन द मेसोफिल. हाँ, लाइक माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया द क्लोरोप्लास्ट आर डबल मेम्ब्रेन बॉन्डेड होता है. हाँ, लाइक माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया की तरह ना क्लोरोप्लास्ट भी डबल मेम्ब्रेन बॉन्डेड होता है. ऑफ द टू द इनर क्लोरोप्लास्ट मेम्ब्रेन इज रिलेटिवली लेस प्रेम्बल. हाँ, वहाँ पर क्लोरोप्लास्ट में क्या होता है, तो इनर क्लोरोप्लास्ट में रिलेटिवली लेस प्रेम्बल होता है, अंदर वाला जो होता है रिलेटिवली लेस प्रेम्बल होता है. हाँ, द स्पेस लिमिटेड बाय द इनर मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द क्लोरोप्लास्ट इज कॉल्ड स्ट्रोमा. हाँ, स्पेस लिमिटेड बाय द इनर मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द क्लोरोप्लास्ट कॉल्ड उसको कहते हैं स्ट्रोमा. हाँ, ए नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फ्लैटेन मेम्ब्रेन सेक्स आर कॉल्ड थैलेक्वाइड. ए नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फ्लैटेन सेक कॉल्ड द थैलेक्वाइड आर प्रेजेंट इन द स्ट्रोमा. Thylakoids are arranged in a stack like peals of coins called grana. हाँ, singular granium or the integral thylakoid. In addition, there are flighted membrane tubules called the stroma lamella. Stroma lamella क्या tubules है. हाँ हाँ. In addition, there are flighted membrane tubules called the stroma lamella connected the thylakoid of different grana. Okay. The membrane of the thylakoid are enclosed a space called lumen. हाँ, thylakoid क्या, thylakoid enclose a space called lumen. हाँ, thylakoid enclose करता है space, उसको कहते हैं lumen. The stroma of the chloroplast contain enzyme required for the synthesis of carbohydrate and protein. हाँ, the stroma of the chloroplast contain enzyme required for the synthesis of carbohydrate and protein. It is also contain a small double standard circular DNA, a small double standard circular DNA molecules and contain ribosome. Chlorophyll pigment are present in the thylakoid. Chlorophyll pigment जो होता है ना, chlorophyll pigment are present in the thylakoid. The ribosome of the chloroplast are 17S. Mitochondria में 17S में भी. Then cytoplasmic ribosome are 18S. The ribosome of the chloroplast is smaller, 17S. Then the cytoplasmic ribosome are 18S. ये देखो क्या, आउटर मेम्ब्रेन है, ये इनर मेम्ब्रेन है, ये ग्रेना है क्वाइन की तरह है, ये थैलेक्वाइड है. हाँ, स्ट्रोमा लेमिला. यस. राइबोसोम आर द ग्लैन्युलर स्ट्रक्चर. राइबोसोम जो क्या ग्लैन्युलर स्ट्रक्चर है. फर्स्ट एब्जॉर्ब अंडर द इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप एज ए डेंस पार्टिकल बाय द जेर्जियो प्लेट. इसमें 1953 में. दे आर कंपोज ऑफ राइबोन्यूक्लिक एसिड, RNA एंड ए प्रोटीन एंड नॉट सराउंडेड बाय एनी मेम्ब्रेन. राइबोसोम आर मेड बाय राइबोन्यूक्लिक एसिड, RNA एंड प्रोटीन एंड नॉट सराउंडेड बाय एनी मेम्ब्रेन. The eukaryotic ribosome are 18S while the prokaryotic ribosome are 17S. हाँ, eukaryotic ribosome कितना था 18S while the prokaryotic ribosome कितना 17S. Each ribosome has two subunits, large and a smaller subunit. The two subunits SCS ribosome are 16 and 14, while 17S का 15 and 30. S is Sedgwick unit, stand for the sedimentation coefficient. It indirectly measure the density and size. Both 17S and 18S ribosome are composed of two subunits. 17S 18 ribosome are composed of two subunits. Large subunit, small subunit. Cytoskeleton. An elaborate network of filamentous proteinous structure. Consisting of microtubules, microfilament and intermediate filamentous present in the cytoplasm. Present कहाँ पे? Cytoplasm. Is collectively referred to as cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is in a cell are involved in the many functions such as mechanical support, motility and maintenance of the shape of the cell. Cytoskeleton in a cell are involved in many functions such as mechanical support, motility maintenance of the shape of the cell, mechanical support, mortality and maintenance of the shape of the cell. Okay. Diagrammatic section of cilia, phalangia showing different part, electron microscope and diagrammatic represent of internal structure. हाँ, ये क्या है? ये जैसे से रेडिकल स्पोक है, सेंट्रल सीट, ये लाल का जो बना सेंट्रल सीट है, ऊपर प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है और इसका दो जैसे से पेरिफेरल मैक्रोट्यूब्यूल, ऐसे गोल गोल बिंदा बिंदा है जो पेरिफेरल मैक्रोट्यूब्यूल जो प्लेट है, पेरिफेरल मैक्रोट्यूब्यूल्स कैसा होता है? डुप्लेट, डुप्लेट होता है। ये क्या? इंटीग्रेटेड ब्रिज, इसमें हरा ग्रीन कलर का इंटीग्रेटेड ब्रिज है। और ये क्या है? सेंट्रल मैक्रोट्यूब्यूल्स है। ओके। सिलिया एंड फेल्जिया, सिलिया सिंगुलर फेल्जियम, Phalgium are hair-like outgrowth of the cell membrane. Hair-like outgrowth of the cell membrane. Cilia are a small structure which work like oars, causing movement of either the cell or the surrounding fluid. Cilia are a small structure. Cilia are a small structure which work like oars, causing the movement of either cell or the surrounding fluid. Phalgia are comparatively longer and responsible for the cell movement. Phalgia are the longer and responsible for the cell movement. The prokaryotic bacteria also possess phalgia, but are the structurally different from that of the eukaryotic bacteria. Prokaryotic bacteria also possess phalgia, but are structurally different from the eukaryotic phalgia. The electron microscope study cilium or phalgium show that the are covered with the plasma membrane. Their core are called exonyma. Causing a number of microtubules running parallel to the long axis. The exonyma usually has 9 duplet, radically arranged peripheral macrotubules and a pair of central located macrotubules. Such as an arrangement of exonymal macrotubules is referred to as 9+2 area. The central tubules are connected by the bridge and also enclose the central sheet, which is connected to one of the tubules of the each peripheral duplet by radical spoke. Thus, there are 9 radical spokes. The peripheral duplet are also interconnected by the linker. Peripheral duplet are also interconnected by linker. Both the cilium and phalgium are emerged from the centrole. कहाँ से इमर्ज करता है? फ्रॉम सेंट्रोल लाइक स्ट्रक्चर एंड कॉल्ड द बेसल बॉडीज. Centrosome and centrioles. Centrosome is organelle usually connected to cylindrical structure called centrioles. Centrosome क्या था? Centrosome is an organelle है. क्या है organelle? Usually contain two cylindrical structure called centriole. They are surrounded by amorphous pericentriolar material. They are surrounded by the amorphous pericentrial material. Both the centrioles in a centrosome lie perpendicular to each other, which has the organization like cartwheel. Both the centrioles in the centromere lie perpendicular. कैसा ला होता है? perpendicular to each other and has an organelle like structure called cartwheel. They are made of 9 evenly placed peripheral macrotubules of tubulin protein. Each of the peripheral fiber is triplet. Each of the peripheral fiber triplet होता. The adjacent triplet are linked. The adjacent triplet linked होता. The central part of the proximal region of the cartwheel is the proteinaceous and is called the hoops, which is connected with the tubules of the peripheral triplet. Its radical is called spoke, made of protein. The centriole form the basal body of cilia or phalgia, and spindle fiber that give rise to the spindle apertures during cell division in animal cell. Nucleus as a cell organelle was first discovered by Robert Bourne as is early 1831 में. Later, the material of the nucleus stained by the basic dye was given the name chromatin by Fleming. हाँ, न्यूक्लियस में लेटर जो है लेटर द मटेरियल ऑफ न्यूक्लियस स्टेन बाय द बेसिक डाई, स्टेन किससे किया था? बेसिक डाई से, वाज गिवन द नेम क्रोमेटिन बाय फ्लेमिंग. द इंटरफेस न्यूक्लियस, nucleus of the cell which is not dividing has highly extended and elaborate nucleoprotein fiber called chromatin, nuclear matrix, and one more spherical body is called nucleus. Electron microscope has revealed that nuclear envelope, which consists of two parallel membrane with a space between them, which called perinuclear space. कितना? 10 से 50 nanometer. From a barrier between the material present inside the nucleus and that of the cytoplasm. The outer membrane usually remains continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum and the bear ribosome on it. At a number of places, the nuclear envelope is interrupted by the minute pores, which are formed by the fission of the two membranes. The nuclear pores are the passages through which movement of RNA and the protein molecules take place in both the directions between nucleus and cytoplasm. Normally, there is only one nucleus per cell. Variation in the number of nucleus are frequently observed. Can you recollect name of organisms that have more than one nucleus per cell? Some mature cells even lack nucleus. Erythrocyte of human cell and sap tube of the vascular plant. Would you consider in living? Yes. The nuclear matrix or the nucleoplasm. What? Nuclear matrix or the nucleoplasm contain nucleus and the chromatin. Nuclear matrix or the nucleoplasm contain nucleus and chromatin. The nuclei are the spherical structure present in the nucleoplasm. Nuclei are the spherical structure present in the nucleoplasm. They contain nucleus is continuous with the rest of the nucleoplasm is at not a membrane bounded structure. It is the site for active ribosome RNA synthesis. Larger and more numerous nuclei are present in a cell, actively carrying out protein synthesis. You may recall that interface nucleus has a loose and indistinct network of nucleoprotein fiber called the chromatin. You may recall that interface nucleus loose and indistinct network of nucleoprotein fiber called the chromatin. During different stage of the cell division, cells show structure chromosome is placed in nucleus. Chromosome in place of nucleus. Chromatin contain DNA and some basic protein called histone and some non-histone protein and also RNA. A single human cell approximately 2 meter long thread DNA distributed among the 46 या 23 pair chromosome. You will study the details of DNA packaging in the form of chromosome in class 12. Every chromosome visible only in dividing cell, essentially as a primary construction or the centromere on the site at which this substructure called kinetomer are present. A centromere holds two chromatids of a chromosome. Based on the position of centromere, the chromosome can be classified into four types: the metacentric chromosome, middle centromere forming two equal arms of the chromosome, submetacentric chromosome, centromere slightly away from the middle of the chromosome, resulting into the one shorter and one longer arm. In the case of archocentric chromosome, the centromere is situated close to the end, forming extremely short and very long arm, where the telocentric chromosome is terminal centromere. सैटेलाइट और सेकेंडरी कंस्ट्रक्शन को ही सैटेलाइट बोलता है. सेकेंडरी कंस्ट्रक्शन का सैटेलाइट क्या? किनेटोमोर्स. इस शॉर्ट आर्म centromere. Sometimes a few chromosomes have non-staining secondary construction. at a constant location, give rise to the appearance a small fragment called satellite. Macrobodies. Many membrane-bonded minute vessels called macrobodies that contain various enzymes are present in both plant and animal cell. Summary: all organisms are made of cell or aggregate of cell. Cells vary in their shape, size, and activity function based on the presence or absence of the membrane-bounded nucleus and other organelles. Cells hence organized can be named as a eukaryotic and prokaryotic. A typical eukaryotic cell consists of cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Plant cell having cell wall outside the cell membrane. The plasma membrane is selectively permeable and facilitates transport of several molecules. Transport of the several molecules. Yes. The endomembrane system include ER, Golgi complex, lysozyme, and vacuoles. All the organelles perform different but specific function. All the organelles, cell organelles, perform different but specific function. Centrosome and centrioles are from the basal body. Centrosome and centrioles from the basal body of cilia and flagella that facilitate locomotion. In animal cell, centrioles also form the spindle apparatus during the cell division. Nucleus contain nucleus chromatin network. It is not only control the activity of cell organelle but also play a major role in the heredity. Nucleus contain nucleus and chromatin fiber. It is not only control the activity of cell organelle but also play a major role in the heredity. Endoplasmic reticulum contain tubules or cristina. There are two types: rough endoplasmic, smooth. ER help in the transport of substance. Endoplasmic reticulum help in the transport of substance. Synthesis of protein, lipoprotein and glycogen. The Golgi body is a membranous organelle composed of flatten cells. The secretion of cells are packed in them and transport from the cell. Lysozyme are single membrane structure. Lysozyme क्या single membrane structural है, containing enzyme for digestion of all type of macromolecules. macro मतलब बड़ा वाला. Ribosome are involved in protein synthesis. Ribosome involved होता है protein synthesis में. They occur fairly in the cytoplasm or associated with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Mitochondria help in oxidative phosphorylation and generation of adenosine triphosphate. Mitochondria help in the oxidative phosphorylation and the generation of adenosine triphosphate. They are bonded by double membrane, outer membrane smooth and inner membrane folded. Several cristia. Plastids are pigment containing organelle found in plant cell only. In plant cell, chloroplasts are responsible for trapping light energy essential for the photosynthesis. The genera in the plastid is the site of light reaction and the stroma of dark reaction. Grana is the in the plastid is the site of light reaction and stroma is dark reaction. The green color plastids are chloroplast. Which contain chlorophyll, where the other color plastids are chromoplast, which contain pigment like carotenoid and xanthophyll. The nucleus is enclosed by nuclear envelope, double membrane structure with nuclear pore. Nucleus is enclosed by the nuclear envelope, double membrane bounded structure with nuclear pore. The inner membrane enclosed with nucleoplast and the chromatin material. The inner membrane encloses the nucleoplast and the chromatin material. Nucleoplast or chromatin material nucleus. The cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Chapter complete.